Hey, everybody. Hello? Oh, okay. Wait, what's this?
This one.
Hi. Okay, right. So we had a big feedback, but that seems to be fine now. So hi, welcome everybody. I hope you found the thing I sent out a little bit too late, but it's always the same. So I think we will continue our discussion here about benchmarking and organizing all the signature data and so on. So I think today is presentation from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You guys take over.
Hello, everybody. This is Mehdi. I'm presenting collaborative work with which is benchmarking of links and 1000 data. At the beginning, I need to give you some background information. This data set aggregated level 5 consists of more than 470,000 signatures, which has more than 3,000 perturbagens, small molecule compounds, shRNAs, and others. To control for genes at level 3, and also they infer this plus 11,000 genes at level 4. They compare replicates to controls, and at level 5, which is called Mosley data, and we are using this data level, they aggregate all these replicates from level 4 to generate consensus signatures, and you can find all these levels at this GSE 1974 The objective is benchmark to find out the best method for connecting these level 5 signatures. So we use different combinations of methods I briefly mentioned here. First, we have 3 different sources of signatures: average Z, mod Z, and broad institute mod Z, which I'm going to explain shortly in the next slide. And then we use first 5 cell lines with most signatures, A375, A549, and XF7, PC3, and VCAP. Then we have 2 different sets of genes: the landmark genes only, which has 978 genes, and also the full length of signatures, which has more than 12,000 genes. And then we use 6 different concordance measurements or measures: correlation, beta correlation, these are Pearson correlations, and connectivity map, score, Fisher exact test, which the p-value is used, and maximal information coefficient, and generalized random set. Also, we use different values to subset genes, both p-values or number of up and down regulated genes. The resources signatures we have is either simple averaging z-scores per gene or moderated z-scores, which they are generally the one from Broad Institute or the ones we we calculated are generally the same. The difference is Broad Institute uses the z-score p-value, corresponding p-value of a z-score as weight, but we use the p-value of a row t-test as weight, which the null hypothesis is z equals 0. Then the strategy we use in this benchmarking is to construct different pairs. We need to define two terms, positive pairs and negative pairs. As I said, we had 5 different cell lines, so we will have 5 different same cell lines and 10 different cell line combinations. In each of these combinations, a positive pair is 2 signatures with basically same perturbation, same dose, and same time, versus negative pair is 2 signatures with different perturbation. After we collect these pairs, through all possible pairs, we pick, in most of these cases, all available positive pairs, and the remaining up to 50,000 pairs in each set, we pick negative pairs. And then when we have this, and then we pick these 50,000 pairs, for each set we calculate the concordance of these pairs, and then we construct ROC curves for each set and each combination of different methods, and finally summarize all this area under the curves in a heat map like this shown here. On the left you see this same cell line combinations, and on the right you see these 10 different cell line combinations which are sorted based on the scores, area under the curves. Then we had this other source of variation, which either can be up and down expressed genes or p-values. For example, in this example, I'm showing for connectivity map method for all these 15 cell line combinations and these 6 different source of signatures and either landmark or full length of signature. We ran all these different cutoffs for, let's say, up and down things, and we pick the best rank means for this method, or for the p-value cutoff, as you see, for 0.1 or 0.01 or 5.001, we pick the best p-value cutoff, which gives us the best rank. So, and maybe I'm not going to show you these static results, which we get from all these different combination methods and different sets of cell lines, but I developed a web application which basically can be goal of this benchmarking. So when user goes to this application, at the first you see the heat map I showed you before, which has 993 different combination of methods and signature data. In this heat map, the first 5 columns are same cell line combinations, and the next 10 are different cell line combinations. The next column is the average of same cells, and the last column is the different cell line combination, which you can sort based on any column you want. The first column is the different sources of this signature. The second is the gene set, either landmark or full length. The method can be correlation, weighted correlation, all these other methods I mentioned, and the cutoff either based on up and down genes or p-values. Then there are these different resources user can download. You can download all the signatures used in this benchmarking, which are more than 37,000 signatures in a single file. You can download, and also you can download the metadata related to this pair sets and signatures and genes, if they are landmark genes or they are inferred genes. Then basically you have this metadata I showed here, pair metadata. We have these pairs from 1 to 750,000, which for each set of those 15 sets, we have 50,000 pairs, which says what set it is and what signatures are in that pair, and if those pairs are positive pairs or they are not. Then if user wants to benchmark his or her own method, you can simply upload a CSV file, which I have a random method here, which consists of 2 columns. And in the first column, you have the pair ID, and in the second column, you have the scores of your pair based on your method. Then if you go to this first tab, it will calculate all those AUCs for 15 different sets and shows user where that method stands among these 93 different methods, which it might take a little while based on how busy this server is. Since it's calculating, I can show you there's a how-to page. It's a brief explanation of what these data are, how these pairs are, and how we should proceed. There is also a glossary for these abbreviations we had in the table, which you can see what these values mean. What happened here? They upload somehow. Why it didn't go through? What is wrong? What is it showing? Oh. That's not a good sign, but I need to wait. I just tested it upstairs. Is your computer different, Joe? Okay, there it is. Now the user uploaded scores will show up on the first, and then you can sort where your method stands among all these methods. So let's say I picked a random method through all these, and we'll see where it goes. If you look closely, these 2 AUCs are identical, which means I picked the simple average Z for full length of signature and simple correlation. So if users have methods which calculate better connectivity, concordance of the signatures, it will show on top. And then if any user wants to construct his or her own signatures, I put the subsetted level 4 data, which includes all the replicates for each signature. I don't dare to download it here, but users can download it here. It's a few gigabyte file. And then if user wants, they can go directly to the geo and download whatever level they want. Good luck with that. And then you look for the method you uploaded and see how it shows up among all different methods. I guess that's what I have for you today. And I can take the questions for more clarification, maybe. What?
If anybody has questions.
Oh. What did you do? Oh, sorry. So there is anybody muted or?
No. So anybody has any questions for Mehdi?
Do we have connection?
No, it is connected. It is definitely connected. Hello,
So
anybody?
maybe sorry, I mean, I probably I followed along there fully. So this is across, this is considering all perturbations, I mean, all corresponding perturbations, or just a subset, or so for you know, for each of those, if you compare different cells, because I mean, you know, in particular if you look across different cells, right, there are certainly some perturbations that are much more consistent across cells than others, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I'm not sure exactly like if this includes like all of them, but then I'm not sure if this should be considered, right?
You mean all pairs or
Perturbation type.
perturbation type? Okay, in each of these sets, let's say for same cell, we consider true positive if they have the same perturbation. And in all of this, I guess, we pick all the true positives because there are not many of them, but we fill the rest to up to 50,000 with negative pairs. But in this, yeah, I agree, other than perturbation and time and concentration, the cell line is different.
But the perturbation is the same.
Yes.
You do it across all the perturbations. Okay, I see.
Yes.
I see, because I mean, okay. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not fully sure how to interpret this result.
Right, but what does this table mean, actually? So what do we see some type of clustering of the methods, basically. You're saying that, I don't know, the average Z-score for the landmark genes may work better, or like it's giving similar results, like, I don't know, like for different cutoffs across the same population of the cells, right?
Yes, let me explain one more thing I forgot. In each row, you see a number in the parentheses. That's the minus log 10 of p-value, which we test each of these AUCs with the highest value in the column. So if it's, since it's minus log 10, which one has? It shows if any of these AUCs is significant to the highest value in the column or not. But let's say in this combination A375 and A549, we pick all the pairs with the same perturbagen if there is any same perturbagen as positive pairs, but the rest are negative pairs, whatever it is. Is it clear, or what else I should add?
So I'm still not sure how to interpret this. Would you say like, I mean, it seems to me like, I guess we need to think this through a little bit completely. Probably did that. That you know, if you have basically you kind of only looking at the L1000 data, right? So I mean, in general, it would probably make sense to have a benchmark and consider some kind of external gold standard or something like that, right? Now, but in this case, yeah, you're basically looking for kind of like agreement to some extent among the different kind of links signatures, right? In a sense.
Yes.
And then whatever method gives you the most kind of agreement. Actually, I can't really tell. I mean, maybe that makes sense. I don't know.
You say that the most useful signatures are the ones with like a high same cell average with a low different cell average. The idea is like want them to work better in the same cell.
Yeah, of course, it works better in the same cell lines because everything is the same.
Yeah.
But in different cell lines, yeah.
That's how you want it to be, right?
Yeah. However, you have the two positive, but still the same. The cell line was different, and there is a lot of noise.
Right.
To them.
Is the app public?
Not yet, but it's gonna be soon.
So I mean, can we like, can you think about like, you know, so you have a particular signature and a particular method of generating the signature, right? Let's just say that, you know, can you somehow use this to come up with a, so let's say somebody else comes up with a new method, right? Like you showed.
Yeah.
Is there like a way now you can, you know, somehow using the other existing data, right, to score that new method in some kind of simple way, right? To say, you know, this is like whatever, you know, so that if we put a new signature somewhere, right, how would we kind of annotate it, right, and kind of rank it compared to other signatures? So I mean, it would be interesting to see, like, you know, look at other methods, right, like the characteristic erection method, or like something a little bit more different, right? How that compares. But I'm not even sure if that would make sense, because you're comparing like basically the same just among the links data, right? So if they're all going to be processed using the same method, right? So I'm not sure. So basically, you know, again, I'm not 100% sure how to interpret this, but I probably don't fully understand it.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not sure if we can compare something from different words to this.
So I have a question. This isn't kind of speaking. But given the results that you're showing, is there a preferred method that you would pick among those that you benchmark? I mean, or it is cell dependent?
So that's not all dependent.
What do you mean among all these?
Yeah, among all the combination that you tested between type of aggregation, the gene set method, is there a best one that ranks always the best, or is that dependent, comparison dependent, or?
So before we run these different cutoffs, we just concluded this average Z with weighted correlation and using only landmark genes was always on the top. But as we added some more methods to it, you see these two are just a little bit higher, but
And you're ordering now by same cell average, or okay?
yes. And then you see it's just 1 per 1,000 better. You see these are 986. This one is 985.
So the same cell average that we see there is just the average of the subset of those columns that compare the same cells?
Yes. But for the different cell lines, it's a little bit more. Like it's 4.2 is it differs, but not that much.
Not that much.
You know, I really think you need to compare this to some, I mean, in addition to some kind of external, you know, other metric, right? I mean, and I'm not saying that this is, yeah, I think there needs to be some, I mean, I don't know, I really have a hard time interpreting this result. Like Michaela asked, you know, is there a best method? Or is it like somehow, is this the best way to do it? You know, like making this ROC in this way? It seems like they're all like, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, in each step we consider the highest value as the best method, and then we compare others to that one.
Oh, right, yeah. I see.
Yeah, if you sort, let's say, this column for highest value, it has it's 998, right? We compare every other value to this one. And actually this one should be the highest value. And then we compare our others to this one. Because the p-value is 0. The minus log 10 p-value is 0.
So for the first method, the top row in your table, the lowest values go to the VCAP combinations?
The worst?
Yeah, like the VCAP, right? That combination where you have the VCAP cell. If you go to the top, the way that you order, right? The best one. And then if you have this like A375, like the pale, the pinkish colors, right? The VCAP. Is that just, do you have any explanation for that? Like now it moved like 4 rows to the right? Like A375 with VCAP and then A549 compared to VCAP.
Whenever you have VCAP,
Yeah,
it's always the worst.
it could be. I didn't go to that detail, but yeah, it seems like VCAP always makes it worse. Maybe it has a lot.
concordance? What does it mean then in this case? Like if you're comparing these two types of cells, right, with a particular method?
Okay.
So basically, they're not the signatures are not concordant, right?
Yes. Yeah. The more red you see, they are more concordant.
So probably means the VCAP has a more specific behavior. Could also be about the subset. Could be also about the subset of.
But it really depends on a lot of things, right? I mean, the type of perturbations, right? This kind of transcriptional activity, this transcriptional strength, right? The difference in the cells, right? So I'm not sure how this would be interpreted in the absence of any other external data, right? I mean, so I think maybe this could be a good complement probably, but I think it would require some other references, you know, so that it's all, that we can somehow, I mean, for an actual benchmark overall. In particular,
Yeah, you're right. I guess we need an external reference for this. But I don't know how to do it.
already, so I mean, I don't know if you have other questions. I guess I need to think about it a little bit more. But do you guys, how do you guys think we should proceed, like, towards like some kind of like goal of providing users, some kind of, like good representation, right, or some kind of good, a reasonable way of showing them what signatures are available, how to access them, and how to compute on them, right? So there are of course tons of different data sets, but now if you just think about like one type of data, right, and as they're getting released, we compute like different flavors of signatures in a way, how we make them, how we describe them, how we kind of like annotate them, rank them or benchmark them, and then make them available in different tools, right? And iLinks, other query tools, data portal, and so on, right? I think, but this is kind of, I guess, one of our goals, right, that we kind of discussed a while ago in some BD2K meeting, and then subsequently with NIH and among ourselves. So I think that would be something worthwhile to work towards. It's kind of like a bit of a task we have. If I remember this correctly from RJ, what he wanted. So that would require probably something like coming up with, I don't know how we want to call it, like a signature ontology. We talked about this for a little bit, right? You may want to seriously start thinking about how to do this, what kind of key annotations we want, including the method, right? How they are actually generated, such that then any benchmark, right? Is kind of the method is somehow described, right? The signature generation method is described, and also then the actual score of a signature, how it scores in given a benchmarking method is somehow comparable and understandable. you know, given that there could be quite a number of different types of flavors of signatures, right? And then, you know, some of them may be good for some applications, others may be good for other applications. So that's something that you need to figure out in a way how to do this, at least that's kind of what I'm thinking. Right, so now given that there are probably different versions of signatures, you know, there and inference methods and, you know, all kinds of different flavors, right? How do we actually present it in a user-friendly way? Right, I mean, I think our job goes a little beyond just coming up with some kind of method, right, to figure out, okay, can I somehow compare them, but more like, how do we make it into like some kind of product for people to use?
That's true.
Was there a way to organize this somehow in based on use cases or something like that, the signature benchmarking or the signature generation? Or come up, you know, the first step would probably be to come up with a set of like standardized annotations or something for signatures that you think are very important, right? That if you have different versions, we can say that they're all coming from the same original raw data set, right? That we can say, okay, look, this is there's one signature, and here, like, you know, some kind of like metadata for the signature, right? And that describes basically how it was generated, you know, the various aspects of it, right?
Yeah.
And then that should work ideally not just for L1000, but for, you know, different types of data. Can we like somehow like maybe identify like a group of people from our like centers? I mean, I don't know if you guys are interested in this, but I think it's something that's kind of important to do to work on that, to come up with some criteria. I think we had some kind of starting point for this, right? I remember. Didn't we like a while ago like work on this?
I guess.
Right, I remember we had some meetings with Mario, right, and we basically came up with very different criteria. Is this documents still somewhere around? Maybe we can dig this out and send around, you know? And then expand this a little bit in the context of this more recent work.
I think it wasn't pushed in.
Right, I mean, there are tons of ways, right, of creating like derivative type of signatures, right?
Yep.
So now, how do we actually, you know, I mean, or maybe we don't want to do this, you know, maybe I should just more ask the question, you know, do we want to like, maybe we just have individual tools, you know, and then those tools use a particular flavor of signature that works the best in those tools. You know, we still probably want to refer back to how this was generated, you know, and then provide like maybe a download of those in the data portal or something like that, right? We could do that, so we have some basic provenance. Then it would still probably require at least some kind of annotation of those different signatures. You could imagine, right, then see the characteristic direction, right, just simple, you know, averages or weighted average, right, this kind of like aggregation that Bas and Michele are working on. There are probably a bunch of other ways of doing it. And then these are probably like useful for different types of applications. So in iLinks, don't you guys have like a method to create like consensus signatures? Kind of on the fly? Or am I mixing this up with something else?
Well, actually, we have different types of signatures. At least two, right? We have transcription factor signature, and then we have this other signature. Which are completely different. But you know, we don't
the connected signatures you calculate based on which method?
Well, we use simple Pearson correlation on the fly, but actually we were talking to Mario before, and he was suggesting maybe we need to change it. to this test method, which is basic.
Okay, so I mean, you know, I don't think we are like making too much progress here. So should we do like you know, do we have like more work along those lines here from other folks that we should maybe review or should present like in one of the next meetings? Maybe Avi's group, you know, and then I mean maybe some of us just have to come up with a proposal or something, you know, how to organize this information. I mean, I'm still thinking like that we should have some kind of like agreement and consistency across the data that's underlying the different tools that we have, you know. In particular, if you can download the signatures, you know, if you download them from one place and from another place and they're not the same, I mean, it could just be very confusing for users and raise all kinds of questions that we maybe don't want to be raised, right, or even asked. So, I mean, at least you want to like annotate them in a way that it's clear it's a different flavor of something, right, if it's not the same. And it seems to me like that are most likely not the same, because they're just, you know, way different options of doing it.
One thing that I was asked today by someone from Pfizer is that whether we have the data in a database. So even though it's the L1000 data is available on Geo, the question was, can we also have it in a database format where it's searchable? That's another thing that needs to be done.
Michaela? You have it, right? So I mean, this links analytics system that Michaela in Cincinnati, I think, you know, I mean, basically you can search essentially every data point in L1000 and other link signatures, and then you can download it, access it, you know, and you can also compute on it using R and the APIs. So there is, I mean, this exists basically, right? So we have that in a, you can select any combination of perturbation, cell, time point, concentration, or cell, right, or molecule, yeah. And then gene as well, right, the transcribed gene, and essentially query that, or you know, download any submatrix of that.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, I didn't know that.
So you could actually, we should probably share this, you know, I mean, it's not, I mean, I'm not sure right now. Right now there is actually here, it's a little embarrassing, but there is like a big transition from one data center to another of all the infrastructure. So, a number of tools are not up. Dataport was up because we made it a priority to be up, obviously. But a couple of other things are not, including, I think, this links analytics, right? But it should be up soon again. So we can share it and be planning to like make it public. Well, it is public, right? But we maybe advertise it a little bit more, make it a little bit of a better UI or something, and then we should share it, you know. And Avi, if you again, right? That's why I'm bringing up this question about, right? This, how we describe the signatures. I mean, I don't really want to pester everybody with that metadata stuff. I know this is not like extremely, you know, work that gets you famous or anything like this, right? But glamorous work. But I think if folks want to download this data, these signatures that are subsets of that, I mean, it's important that they know, have some kind of annotation of that, right? Because then if they download another version, right, characteristic direction method, it looks completely different, right? Then they better know what's what and what the difference is, right? Otherwise, we may create a lot of confusion. In particular, if we have end users, right? Like if there is a question of I want to download, when I have this in the database and create it, right? I mean, then that's an end user or more like a particular type of end user question, right? Yeah, you know, they want to have some kind of like confidence in what they're actually getting there. Right? And that confidence could be easily be diminished if they go to another tool and then they look at this and it looks different, and then another tool looks different again, right? And this we make it very clear that these are actually different flavors that are optimized or generated for particular purposes. Which is the case, but I think we just need to kind of make it clear in a way that is clear to that is easy to understand for end users. And I guess maybe it's a somewhat computationally savvy type of end user who goes beyond just clicking the something on a web page. So anyway.
Stefan, I noticed that life is down. Like is it because of those changes, or you want to be supporting it at all?
Probably, yeah. It's probably that. Actually, that's a good point. You should have maybe kept that up too. But I mean, they should be migrating. It should be up tomorrow again, right, or Wednesday, I hope.
They have a rotation list.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at 8 we get Sailor Track and Life.
It should be back. It should be back like tomorrow actually. Links portal should be up. We started a little bit on Friday. There was like a little bit of a glitch, but then it was up like after like a few hours again.
I didn't notice any problem with that. I just by accident.
The best it would be if you're linking to compounds and that. I would actually recommend to anywhere link to the data portal.
No, I did most of the things I. Link to data portal. I had like some legacy link just for development, and I found it.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, in the production we have everything linked to LVP. We don't use normally live, but I was just curious.
So guys, should we like? I mean, we could decide, if we want to have this software meetings in a more focused group, like we were thinking to continue maybe any aspect of the hackathon sessions that we had and that we maybe continue to have, or should we have more presentations about ways? But I think, we have tons of presentations already. I'm thinking like maybe we should really work on some integration, across. And one of the things again is like harmonizing across the different sites, and another one would be perhaps these workflows, right, in which we can move from site to site and tools to tools to execute certain use cases. That's still something that we need to do some more work. The integration or the addition of visualization and analysis to data portal, I think, is making some progress, but also a little bit slow. But it's good to, the CAN data analyses that RV's group did is great. If they go in there for the different data sets. One other thing that we wanted to do is like the community, so maybe we can think about to set up like in some kind of easy way, if anybody has like some kind of ideas how to do this in the best way, to have basically some kind of like community wiki type way of making contributions for those different data sets. We still haven't really done that. I think there's a lot of experience that that RV's group has with crowdsourcing, and that, it's a little different, but I guess it involves still some extent interfaces to do this. Is there like a good tool we could use for this, for the community, tab on the data portal?
I'm not sure.
Somebody wants to, RV, remember, like you had this idea, I wanted to call it links in or something. Was very funny.
Links lounge.
Like for the for the data sets, right? So to allow folks to annotate them or to make comments or whatever. Remember, in the data portal we have this like community page, this community tab that's inactive.
Okay.
Remember, like, is there like a tool? I mean, ideally, we probably don't want to develop something new because there's so many social media type applications already. But you guys have a lot of experience with this. Is there something that you can just plug in somehow, more or less?
I think so. I think there are several like libraries that Gregory from he already left. He did some research and he found several potential libraries that can be added. So you could have like you can sign up for updates basically, and do like a message board type of feedback form. So I can dig that out and I can send it to you.
That would be great. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Something like a blog, or like a I don't know, message board, or I don't know, blog, wiki. I don't know, something like that. You can make comments. Then in particular, if you have a login, and there can be accounts associated with that somehow, right? Like.
What about like forums?
Yeah, a forum, kind of like a forum, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there are. So I'll send you the link to the ones that Gregory found. It may be a little old because it's already been some time, but
let's think about it and let's do it, or let's just remove this tab. I mean, because it's already like
It's something good to do as a group, like to implement.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. And then we have the login stuff. I mean, Amar has that. So if you guys want to have the login, either replicate the server or just connect to it. I mean, I think you can share this.
Okay.
So Amar, I don't know if you want to maybe show this in one of the next meetings or something. If anybody's interested, that could be something useful.
We can show it because the reason why the system is down. So this is one of those systems not server.
Yeah. So probably not now, but in a week or two. I mean, I don't know if anybody of you guys is interested in this, but it's one of those things. I think that we shouldn't. That's basically we should probably have across the DCIC, right? So there's only one login for anybody. Maybe even across links, but I guess the first step would be in the DCIC. And I'm not saying we should have logins everywhere, right? But we could make an optional login, right? And you get logged into iLinks, you get logged into CDS Square, wherever else, right?
Yeah.
And then if you move from one to the other, you're basically already logged in, and then maybe we can somehow track. I mean, again, to expand and enrich the user experience, not necessarily to track in terms of like monitoring people, right? What they do, so that they somehow maybe the system can remember certain things about what that's ultimately beneficial for a user, right? Of the login, they can start again where they left or something like that. We should think about, maybe we can prioritize 3 really easy to do things that would be a good user experience that we could do. If there aren't any of those, then maybe it doesn't make sense to have it. But since we are already asked by some groups by some of the data generation centers to basically have their data behind some kind of download behind the login, you have to log in anyway. And you also need a login for data submission, so you can as well. It seems like relatively little efforts to make this optional on other tools as well, and then maybe this can help with implementing better user experience. That they can save their own stuff or whatever they want. I mean, you may already have some of those things, so maybe you have to integrate them.
That's a good idea.
Save your query, it's the easiest thing, right? I mean, something like that. Save my results. I don't know. So should we have, do you guys want to do this, like have another meeting in 2 weeks or something? And then Amar would show login, and we can think about, you know, collectively a little bit how to implement it across different tools. And then what features we could have that could help, including maybe this forum. Right? I mean, we obviously can't allow people to make comments anonymously, right? I mean, that doesn't work because then everybody could just, you know, do all kinds of crazy things. We don't want that. But, you know, if people have ideas or comments or something, I mean, that could be one easy function, right, that we could implement if you know, there is a tool that we can kind of plug in, you know. And I mean, I think you guys have, Avi has more experience with how you do this, you know, with how do you actually engage people, the crowd kind of, right? How you call it, like citizen scientists in a way. Maybe it's not the citizen scientist because you need to have like certain technical skills, right? But so you probably have some kind of like good ideas, maybe what to avoid or what to do.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
You know, I'm sure it's not trivial, you know, because there aren't that many successful tools like that and applications.
Yeah, just convincing people to do stuff. It has to be more passive.
Yeah, but maybe even just users. So if they use a data set and they want to just basically kind of comment how much they like the user, the data set, right? Maybe you want to have a star rating. I don't know, maybe that's not such a good idea, you know. But they could just comment that, oh, I used it for this, you know, great, or they add their references or whatever. You know?
Well, Uniprint has ratings for their curated information.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think we want to go that far. I agree with you.
I mean, we could think about it, right? But we could allow people to provide feedback and say, oh, there's, you know, even if there's something wrong or there's some kind of something missing or they want some other information, right? Then why not? I mean, if you want to, I mean, I don't know what the pitfalls are of doing this more or less in a public way, you know, like, we can maybe discuss this. But I mean, it would certainly engage the community more, right? And then that's kind of one of the goals anyway. All right, so I'm gonna like schedule or ask maybe Yoshida to schedule like again in 2 weeks. Would that work for you guys? 21st? 14th, 21st. There was something on the 21st that was somewhat maybe not maybe there. Oh, steering committee meeting, so that wouldn't work. That's what it was. So next, maybe then after that, the 28th. Should we do that or should we do next week? Maybe 28. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's keep this in mind, okay? 28. 2 p.m. Okay. All right, so, okay. Thank you guys. I mean, I don't know, maybe we should have a more detailed agenda, but I think it's good. Thanks for giving the presentation and for showing this. And again, I mean, you know, let's think about this organization of the data, of the signatures. And when Michele can send out when it's up again, maybe the links analytics, you know, so Avi can send it out to people if they want to look at it, or connect them. I mean, whatever works, and maybe add it at some point to the links, to the list of links tools as well, right? So that it's there, and yeah. You know, and then Avi could send us like whatever information. Maybe that would be useful to put in a community functionality or forum. All right, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Already, yeah. Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.